Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, Mr. Fatwa?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, good. How about you?
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you for taking your time, sir. Sorry for disturb your time before.
Just chill, sir.
Okay, so in this occasion, I want to ask your time to accomplish my final thesis. I hope you can help me, sir. So I want to know about your teaching method in your vocabulary teaching at Darussalam Modern Islamic Boarding School. Then I need some answer from you that related to your teaching method. Yes. Let us go to the first question, sir.
Yes, okay. Let us go.
Okay. Um. So, the first question that I want to know about your teaching model. So why do you choose drill strategy to teach English vocabulary to your students?
Okay. I choose drill because it is very suitable for children, so that is easy to remember if repeated and easy to pronounce. Because the concept of drill is to repeat until smooth, so that student can get used to it.
Okay, so it means that you think drill strategy to make students easy when they remember because you as the teacher make it repetition when you deliver the vocabularies. Okay, so then the second question for user, how is the drill that you apply? Could you explain it, sir?
Okay, first, I divide into some groups. Then I give vocabulary in a direct way and explain its meaning in a way that is explained without using Indonesian, so that students think it is not practice to understand. Then I give example for a sentence related to the vocabulary that I deliver for make it more understand about the meaning, and then I order them to make the sentence by themselves. After that, if they still do not understand, I give a flashcard or other media to make it easier for students to understand. Then I write it down on the vocabulary board so that I do not make mistakes in their writing. Each vocabulary I deliver to the group consecutively. Furthermore, that is my drill strategy way.
Okay, it was good. Then, exactly, you use additional learning media in your teaching model. So, when do you use additional learning media for students, sir?
I use additional learning when students find it difficult to understand the meaning. Usually, when I teach new students at the Islamic boarding school, I use additional learning media such as flashcards and photos.
Oh, okay, so it means you use additional learning media when the students get difficult to understand. So the average teacher here use additional learning media when students find it difficult to understand.
Yes, when they have a difficult to understand the meaning of that words.
Okay, actually, there are some basic problems that you face. What are the basic problems that students have in learning vocabulary? Because exactly these are your challenges to face your student in teaching vocabulary.
Okay, the basic problem that often occurs is that it is difficult for students to make sentence and pronounce word.
Okay, then how about the student who does not want to memorize the vocabulary?
When they do not want to memorize the vocabulary, I tell the students who do not want to memorize to give the other student the vocabularies in that day and tell him to repeat it until the student is used to saying it. Then he must tell in front of the whole of students. So I think this is the way how to make the students different, deterrent or not to repeat the mistake.
Okay, so besides, how about the student who cannot pronounce the vocabulary, sir?
When we had difficult pronouncing the word, I also give an example how to pronounce it slowly to the child, and the
Hmm.
child repeat it slowly. And this is the benefit of my method. Namely, drilling provides more understanding to understand the vocabulary and make it easier for students to pronounce it.
Okay, then there are some student give negative response. So how about your response to the student who give negative response toward vocabulary drilling in the class?
Okay, when students give negative response, I give a punishment that can educate them by standing up and giving them 5 vocabularies to say loud repeatedly. And I do this way when the vocab learning was finished. Soon, they are aware of the bad things.
Okay. As a teacher, exactly, you know about your students' ability. So that's how is the student's ability in memorizing vocabulary?
The student abilities in memorizing vocabulary are very diverse. Some are quick to memorize, some are difficult to memorize. So I have to know how their respective characters are in order to be able to give the right treatment when delivering the vocabulary, such as when I give a treatment to the student who feel difficult to memorize, I order him to speak repeatedly the vocabulary. So the student get used to remember the vocabulary. Then the student who are quick to memorize the vocabulary, I also order him to give some sentence in their notebooks to make really understand the meaning of the vocabulary and get used to saying it.
Okay, so okay. Thank you, sir. I think that's enough for the question. Thank you so much for taking your time for me, for you who helped me for accomplish my thesis. I hope we can meet together again in other agenda. Thank you, sir. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.